Hey everyone, Pine Grove News Live, 6 p.m. right on the dot. Hope everyone's doing okay. Let's see, it's Wednesday, midweek. Yeah. Going through the course of the day, I always gotta listen to being a listener. You gotta listen to other people, period. I mean, you could be having a great day and co-worker to come pass by and say hello and how bad their day's going and oh how they hate this so much and yeah, and so we listen best we can do, try to console them somehow. I mean, how you control, how can let the Lord lead you to do that, because some of us being in this world, we tend to get a little crud on us from time to time, and got to scrape that off the right way. So, I don't know what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, that story. Human compost. Yeah, go figure. Human compost. To me, it's just a disgusting thought. I mean, yes, I know once we're gone, I mean, we leave behind the shell. Dust to dust. We came from, dust we'll go back to. I don't want to be reminded of the in-betweens. Anyway, let's go to the news, start this thing right. From the Watchers. That started right. But, let me just check 1 second, see if we're, yes, we are live YouTube. And those of you who may not know, it is PGN live stream. We're at YouTube. From the Watchers, at least 16 killed. That's severe floods. Yeah, hope I can talk now. Man. Severe floods hit Paraguay. And then got some old news on this site here at Watchers, like that asteroid that exploded over Australia. We didn't cover it. There's been a lot of them, coming down lately. Either more coming down, or they're just, fully covering. Also from the Watchers, severe floods hit capital Bamako. Yeah, where's that? That is in Bali. 15 lives there, 16 from the previous story. And extremely heavy rain hits Yukushima Island, Japan. 16.5 inches of rain in 12 hours. Less than a day. Imagine 16.5 inches of rain in half your day. We're complaining. I was complaining probably about being, hot and humid the other day. I don't like the humidity. It just drains me of energy completely. You talk about humidity, 16.5 inches of rain. Warm and humid air current blown from the east brought extremely heavy rain to Japan's southern Yukushima Island on Saturday. Yeah. Late news. It took time to get from Japan to the west coast and then to the east coast, So Mississippi River above flood stage for 137 days. We have been talking about it for at least a week. 2 weeks. So as of May 21st, the Mississippi River at Natchez has been above the flood stage of 48 feet. 137 consecutive days. This is well longer than any time since 1927, when the previous record of 77 days was set. Yeah, that is probably, yeah, almost double that. Yeah, any concerns over that, Mississippi? All right, let's keep going. From End Time Headlines. Here's an update on the 30 twisters, the flooding that led to Midwest deaths. And forecasters are say brace for more. Yeah, I mean, they've been getting more and more and more. Some people said a little ways back that, yeah, this would be a crazy year, 2019, for weather. So a weather emergency continues to unfold across the Midwest after more than 30 tornadoes touched down across the Plain States. Floodwaters are rising across the region as rescue crews work night and day, pulling people to safety. At least 2 deaths have now been blamed on the severe weather. Violent twisters damaged homes and businesses, and intense rain brought catastrophic flooding and trapped many in their homes. 5 feet of water had been reported in some places. High water rescues were underway as first responders searched for the stranded. In Tulsa, one man was pinned by a fallen tree before being rescued. Parts of the I-40 were shut down due to flooding, and several railroad tracks were submerged. Heavy snowmelt from the north and significant rain also led to major flooding in Missouri. So, I thought there was something else here I needed to tell you about the weather-related stuff. Not to mention, I mean, it's just crazy stuff that's going on in the middle of our country, you know, the food chain. It's just very, you know, I worry for other people. I don't worry for myself. Ones that are not saved, that don't have the promises of being provided for. Told us not to worry about what we're going to eat tomorrow, what we're going to wear today. Case. Out of the weather then. I thought there was something there. Also from the End Time Headlines, in 1954, evangelist AAAllen was given a vision of America being destroyed by missiles out of the ocean. Let me get to look at this huge submarine. Flag is flying there. That's what I want to know. Doesn't look like an American flag. So this one, yes, Michael Snyder wrote an article for The Opinion. So on July 4th, 1954, evangelist AAAllen had an extraordinary vision, which we are still talking about to this day. The vision is quite long, but near the end of the vision, he was shown that one day America would be destroyed by missiles coming out of the ocean. It is important to note that the very first submarine capable of carrying nuclear missiles was not even built until 1959. So what AAAllen saw had not even been invented yet when he saw it. Goes on to tell you that the following is the full text of his vision. And, you know, for time's sake, I mean, maybe one time we should just do a show like that and just, you know, I promised the headlines and updates. Maybe next time we'll just label it when we got something like that to read. But I am going to, it's over at Harvest Network. I'm just going to go to the read more. It's going to work now. There we go. And I will leave that link. The mostimportantnews.com. The mostimportantnews.com. This was written by Michael Schneider. So I'm very interested in reading it, and for the sake of time, we might even have time because I'm already halfway through the news. So if you want to come back, if you want me to come back and read it, I will read it. Okay, so we'll do that. But that vision, I mean, it is just so true today. I mean, how many times have either North Korea, well, they don't have very good submarines and are not as good as the Russian ones that we need to worry about. But they're not the only ones. China has them, over there on the West Coast. Russia has popped up in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, pretty recent. I know they were testing some kind of flying something, a fighter or a bomber across the Alaskan airspace, and were intercepted and turned around. So yeah, we're going to be tested, and we can see that. That's how they're going to get. That's a first strike type scenario. We won't see them coming. They'll just pop up in the Gulf of Mexico or either coast, and within minutes, those missiles will hit. It's not going to be the 20 minutes everyone's thinking about when we saw that movie. Which one was it? Let's play a game. What's the name of that movie? I don't know if you remember. That little kid hacks the big main computer, and he plays a game with the computer, and they end up playing thermonuclear war. And yeah, they took those at that time, and that was pretty far back. Took probably 20 to 30 minutes to get here, say from Russia. In any case, maybe we'll come back and read it. U.S. Court of Appeal upholds ruling against nurse fired for speaking about her faith with patients. Good news. So this Court of Appeals in the United Kingdom has upheld a ruling that the nurse was not unfairly dismissed when she lost her job over complaints she was sharing her faith with patients. The respondent employer did not have a blanket ban on religious speech at the workplace. What was considered to be inappropriate was for the claimant to initiate discussions about religion and for her to disobey a lawful instruction given to her by management. So they concluded the panel of Justice Gross Sy and Hayden Cave. It is important that cases such as this should not become over elaborate or excessively complicated. And right, it's not complicated. What about free speech? A person doesn't want to hear it, a good Christian will know to stop. What was that? Lose your job over it? Absolutely not. Well, I hope she gets, the back pay that she deserves. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I just took this because it hit me, pretty hard. I consider myself a patriot, of these United States. Defiance. This is from Todd Starnes. Camping World sued after refusing to take down the U.S. flag. Anyways, I got this editor's note at the top. Facebook is cracking down on conservative content. Many of you have complained that you never see our content in your news feeds. There's only one way to fight back, and that's by subscribing to my weekly newsletter. So when it comes to patriotism, size matters. That's why Gander RV raised a 3,200 square foot American flag over its store in Statesville, North Carolina. There's a couple things coming out of North Carolina that, makes me wonder whether they're patriotic. In any case. And that's a mighty big problem for the city council. So they filed a lawsuit against Camping World. The council did. The company's owners alleging the sign violates the city's sign ordinance. City leaders also imposed a $50 fine per day retroactive to October, meaning Camping World and Gander Outdoors owe about $11,000 in fines. Imagine that, folks. Americans being punished for flying the red, white, and blue. It's not, well, not a flying ad statement. There goes free speech again too. Anyways, they got an online petition going. They already have 138,000 signatures, and when I'm done here, I'm going to go over. I didn't have a chance to do it, but I'm definitely going to sign that one. And you know, for you Christians who think that, well, I got nothing to do. I don't know what to do. Start there. Go sign a petition. You're not meant to just stand around and ask what to do. You need to be proactive. The Lord said you need to be proactive. Idle hands, all that stuff, Don't just wait around for his coming. It'll be an awful long time, don't you think? Anyways, North Carolina. It's not the first thing, like I said, I heard from North Carolina today. It wasn't good. So, here's another update on these chips, okay? A chip in my hand unlocks my house. Why does that scare people? Obviously, this person's not Christian and doesn't know, or is just ignoring the fact. So, over the past few decades, microchip implant technology has moved from science fiction to reality. We all know that. There's companies out there that their employees use them, have them. Today, hundreds of thousands of people around the world have chips or electronic transmitters inside them. Remember, we started chipping our dogs. Some people even chip their infants. Most are for medical reasons, like cochlear implants to help the deaf hear. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking, like sworn for the worker, this hand that's being held up to the door to unlock the door. That's most recently, body modification enthusiasts are technophiles have been installing microchips in their bodies that do everything from starting a car to send a text message to make payment in Bitcoin. So the market on non-medical implant technology is virtually unregulated, despite the fact that thousands of people around the world got chipped in the past 12 months. That may be about to change. The past few years, calls to heavily regulate or even ban voluntary implants have grown increasingly loud. There's a place for regulating implants, like any technology, but also a need to separate the fear from reality. I was excited to get my implant in 2015 at a biohacker gathering called Grindfest in Tehachapi, California. Specifically, in a garage in a dentist chair surrounded by vintage medical posters, these implants, often called radio frequency ID or near field communication tags, depending on the terminology involved, are about the size of a grain of rice, just like the RFID mentioned, and are installed in people in seconds via an oversized syringe. Yeah. They each have a unique identification number and cost as little as $50. Yeah, so, well, we've all talked about that, and we know that, are we going to go to hell if we are deceived into getting it? I would think if you were lied or deceived into it, that you would not, that as soon as you found out that you were deceived, you remove it and repent of it. I guess, I mean, the Lord is full of mercy. But he says that those who voluntarily get this mark, we're coming pretty darn close to it, but I don't think the bulk of Christians will be here have the rapture way before those things start going on, I believe. That's why I think that we're so close. We will see. Washington becomes the first U.S. state to legalize human composting as an alternative to burial or cremation. Yep. It's when you thought Oregon was probably one of the weirdest and craziest states there was next to California. I think it's something going on the West Coast. Now it's from Washington. Anyway, Tuesday, Governor Jay Inslee signed a SB 5001 concerning human remains, making Washington the first state in the U.S. to legalize human composting. The law, which takes effect May 1st, 2020, recognizes natural organic reduction in alkaline hydrolysis, sometimes called liquid cremation, as acceptable means of dispositing or disposing for human bodies. Until now, Washington Code had permitted only burial and cremation. Bills passed bipartisan majorities 80-16 in the House and 38-11 in the Senate. This paves the way for Recompose, a project to build the first urban organic reduction funeral home in the country. Washington already has several green cemeteries, such as the White Eagle Memorial Preserve in Cluttered County, where people can be buried without embalming, caskets, or headstones. The Recompose model is more like an urban crematorium. Bodies go in, remains come out, using the slower, less carbon-intensive means or organic reduction or composting process, which involves using wood chips, straw, and other materials. So basically, yeah, I mean, it's like going out there and putting your leaves and grass cuttings in a pile, and your, whatever your organic leftovers from food, and just keep stirring it with a pitchfork or something. Yeah, you compost it all. Basically about what it does, but in under controlled conditions. Say Soylent Green. Yeah. I didn't want to go there, but it was a Hollywood movie, and they tell us everything that they do or going to do. When you start hearing about stories like this, and anyways, we'll talk about that another time. Hello, Hen. God bless you. Good to see you. All right, what else we got here? Natural news. Video, why Trump must invoke the Insurrection Act to save America from lawless enemies within who threaten our constitutional republic. Like in order, we're not under a constitution, but we can talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Could be another year from now, but we're going to talk about it. Still have a lot of information, a lot of tabs open that I just haven't gotten back to. I keep them open to remind me. But anyways, this Insurrection Act. According to the sources cited by the Daily Call, President Trump is poised to invoke this Insurrection Act to again fight for America's survival against the ongoing invasion of illegals who are flooding the United States as a tactic to destroy the country from within. Yeah, we didn't pick up that story about what was there, a chemical plant that somebody tried to claim that terrorists blew up or bombed here in the United States. Everybody hear that? I mean, it's 4 days old. That's why I didn't pick it back up. You probably already heard it, but if you haven't heard it, go Google that. Kind of chemical plant or something like that that was bombed. Well, anyway, this insurrection passed by Congress in 1807 allows the president to deploy National Guard and use military troops to combat rebellion against the United States of America. The act has been invoked by other presidents to quell violent uprisings such as the LA riots. It is clear that President Trump now recognizes the open rebellion against America being committed by the governor of California, mayors of sanctuary cities, and fake news journal terrorists who are brainwashing Americans to hate their own country. Well, that is certainly going on. And so the ongoing land invasion of the United States of America is an act of war being openly supported by Democrats, yes, and leftists who are using illegal immigration to nullify U.S. voters and overrun the United States with anti-American militants, criminal and terrorist. So Greg Reese's video explains even more, and I'll leave that for you to go and look at. You must admit, just don't be deceived here either. You know, this president still is trying to convince us that martial law is a good thing. Okay, when this supposed Q was, trying to tell us that martial law also would be a good thing to stop these criminals and elite that were going to be rounded up to stop them. But I'm sorry, that wouldn't stop them. They'd already be gone. So be careful. Don't accept the martial law. I mean, why would you accept martial law? That means they can come down your street like, in hordes of military uniform and military equipment, which your police stations have or your towns have. I still have that link. I want to find out which town you live in. If they were given this free military equipment, we talked about this a year ago, or a couple years ago now, that Obama gave or allowed our military, our police, to have these military assets free. They were free. Just like the ones he left in Iraq when he pulled out. He left it free for ISIS to take. And don't be deceived by this president. There's a lot of things that he's sticking up for, but he's also, remember who we used to be. And nobody wanted to mess with us because we were strong. We had a good military, one of the best in the world, so on and so forth. But to what point? Don't you think that people are finally, tired of somebody being a bully? Yes, we need to stand up for, how did China get to have such a big trade deficit? Well, there's a lot of presidents who basically wanted the New World Order. The only way to do that is what Trump is trying to, call this Insurrection Act and use to prevent. I don't know how it would, but it's basically it's martial law. It's and we're basically under that anyway. We're already under that. I mean, we're under this act where the president and government assets can go and take anything they want, kind of like eminent domain that Trump enjoys pretty much because he's used it and he won't hesitate to use it again. It kind of gives the United States military the power to go anywhere they want, seize, take assets. They don't have to pay you for it. As a matter of fact, if you gripe about it, they'll probably put you away in some dark hole and forget about you. There won't be any charges. There won't be anything else. You just rot away in a dark hole. And we've talked about these things many times, and we will again. Don't be fooled by this president. There are many companies out there that are folded now, that are laying off people. Where is this growth that he's talking about? Prove it in numbers. Because that's all we hear about. People getting laid off. Companies, they're folding. Look at that, what was that, dress shop, or I forget name of it the other day. Closing all their shops. It was yesterday when I wasn't, on the news, but I thought I had it somewhere, but I don't. In any case, this Insurrection Act, people, just be wary of that. We do not want martial law because it gives them the right to take away our guns. With that, they can come and take away our guns. But we're not under the Constitution, so they can come and do it anyway. It won't. No. All I can say is it gives them legal standing anyway. Right? Are they still right? No, they're not right. You can't just suspend the Constitution. Sorry. They think that they can. They will. They did it in Boston just to check and see how much they can get away with. There are quite a few people who were handcuffed, guns taken away. I would not allow anybody into my house. You think, why would you think that I wouldn't even let a police officer unless he had, a subpoena. And there's no reason for it, okay? So it wouldn't be. But if they have a legal paper, Jesus told us to be, in subjection to our governments to a point, right? Anyways, let's go on before I get off in that direction. It takes me a while to get back out of it. Very touchy subject. Eminent domain. You could own a house for 40 years, grow up in this house, have, all your children grow up in that house, and they can come and take it away. Yeah, with eminent domain, I think they do have to pay you at least market value, but you have to leave. It's legal. I don't like that at all. Shouldn't happen. All to make a profit. It's all to make a profit, and that's why they do it. It's for the betterment of the society. Is it really? Anyways, this is from the week. Google's, I don't know how you pronounce this, Huawei ban exposes an alarming app store duopoly. All I know is that Trump put sanctions against this company, and they're not doing very well because of it. Okay? And now the Chinese are telling their employees, wherever they are, I guess every citizen is an employee, so they're telling their employees not to buy anything American anymore. Can't use American apps, so on and so forth. And, with this citizen thing that they got going on there, man, if somebody finds that you're using an American app, and this citizen, citizens can report you, then you're going to be on this list. You're not going to be able to drive to work or fly to work, take a bus, train. Yeah. Getting very, very difficult. You thought it was difficult over there now. Let me tell everybody, that just reminds me of the Bible, I believe it's in Revelation. It's in there somewhere. About your friends and your relatives, turning each other in. Yep. Probably start there. And I know what happens here too. And it's always for some kind of profit for yourself. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about that. Supposedly they have this, I said I wasn't going to, so I'm not. Catch myself. Yeah, and then they got this thing going on with Pelosi and the demon rats and Trump today. I guess Pelosi said some words to Mr. Trump about, what was that? What was it this time? That he is undergoing some kind of cover-up. And so I guess that's the next option to, a reason to impeach him. Yeah, he's covering something up. So the president didn't like that, and they had meetings together to go to so that they can talk about some kind of, what do you call it, economic figure to fix the infrastructure in our country. Trump had something like, I don't know, $1 trillion worth. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed before they start killing people. People start dying from all these things. We can go and do a show about that one time too and point out all the stuff that they should be fixing that they're not. They're just taking money from us. I mean, my daughter started reading off a list the other day about these taxes and new ones this year, taxes. She just started reading the list of what they imposed taxes on. And I had to tell her to stop. She was just going on and on and on. And the list just kept going. And this is what they're doing. They're taxing every little thing. They're used to buy certain things that was a whole kit. And now what they're doing with these kits is that kind of separating the kits the best they can so that if you build one kit, you're going to need the other kit. So you're going to have to pay more money for the other kit, which actually it used to be one whole kit. You know what I'm saying? It could be just about anything. It's just crazy what they're doing, and I don't think people realize it at all. There's a lot of people that are talking about it, though. Not enough. Pelosi says, I prayed for the president after Trump walks out on the infrastructure meeting. Yeah. And obviously this week is kind of biased. Yeah. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat in California, no wonder freaking crazy laws are happening there in California, says she's praying for the President Trump, yeah, and for the nation after he suddenly ended the meeting to discuss infrastructure. Yeah, but I heard some comments that he said, and he was basically attacked with this. He was hiding. He was I forget. Can't even remember the word now. Covering up something. Yeah, he didn't like that. He took offense to it. And there's a lot of people saying, yeah, he did the right thing. He walked out on him because of that. How can you work with somebody who personally, even after they've been found that there is nothing that they can, hold against Trump? I mean, and that's amazing because normally there's something, especially with politicians, but he's not a politician. That's the thing. He's a businessman. And I'm surprised you can't get something like that to hold against him. But apparently they can't. They can't find it. So now, because they can't find it, he must be covering up something. And what a monumental waste of time and money. And these people really, I don't know, you Democrat people who vote for these people really need to check yourselves. These people, these Democrats, Pelosi, Waters, all those people, are really doing nothing but delaying, and all kinds of just dark tactics. Green New Deal, whatever. I know the people in Mixler can't see this, but I took a screenshot of the live Orville Dam. I'm just bringing you an update. I mean, obviously, when the live cam pointed down after it zoomed out to the top of this emergency spillway, you could see the crack that goes all the way across the spillway. And it actually has water running in it. And I don't know, man. It's just obvious, right in your face. I mean, you can see it. There is trouble there. But also checked on the levels. Last time I checked, they were at 891 feet. Okay, 10 feet away from the emergency spillway, 10 feet from the top. Alert level is set at yellow. Inflows are at 10,500 cubic feet per second, and the outflows are at 8,500 cubic feet per second. Okay, so now that has changed since what did they do in the news? Monday? Yeah, Monday they actually had the outflows just a little bit higher. I mean, I think it was under 100 cubic feet per second more going on the outflow. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're fudging the figures, but that's the latest update that I got so far. And this is the live stream. Orville Dam Watch Group. That's one of a couple that I've been looking at. So, and they're still live. I'm going to shut that down now. So, all right. So, down to the end here. And I know we already mentioned this on Monday about these hot dogs, but I went by it really quick. Okay. So you did not even get the kind of hot dogs that are being recalled. 2,000 pounds of these hot dogs. Supposedly possible metal contamination. They're the Vienna Beef, okay, Ltd., a Chicago, Illinois establishment. Links process. So, got the link below about, gives you the UPS and other numbers on there. So you can go and look at the link, find out if you have those particular hot dogs. And I don't know if I talked about this Monday, but I am still, collecting pieces from this Maxwell House coffee, instant Maxwell House coffee that I've been drinking. And why do I still drink it? Well, mostly because these particles are mostly, at least it seems mostly, that they're heavier than the actual water and coffee content, and they go to the bottom. So I don't drink it all the way down. And I do look for it. And I've been saving them. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'd like to get them tested, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where. Stuff like that. I'll just someday when I have time to actually write Maxwell House. But I pray for everything, and I don't know if that's tempting the Lord if I know that there's something wrong with the coffee and I still drink it, knowing that prayer, take care of that. I'm a little worried about that part, slightly. I mean, I'm not doing it I don't think I'm doing it on purpose, so I don't know. I mean, what I have to do is make sure that my wife and my daughter, who are drinking it too, realize this as well. And then if we have three together, I mean, three is better than one, that's for sure. And also, this 911 alert for another recall. Ready-to-eat salads recalled. This came out of Washington. So the Caito, Caito Foods LLC in Indianapolis, Indiana, is recalling approximately 1,767 pounds of salad chicken products due to misbranding and undeclared allergens. Products contain soy, a known allergen, which is not declared on the product label. Oh, no, no, no. When you start doing that, yeah, I think they should be heavily fined for that. I mean, that's why we have the labels to know what's in them, right? They would not put something on the label that, like my little things in my coffee, right? They won't put that on the label, right? Yeah. So the ready-to-eat salads with chicken items were produced on May 12th through the May 15th. The following products are subject to recall. And PDF in here, and they have two labels right in the bottom. Greek salad with chicken and the Tuscan style Caesar salad with grilled chicken. Okay. Recall. Yeah, this is from the activist post. Let me do this first. Let's do this. Got to do it in the beginning. Does make a difference, I think. And go back. So, research. Yeah, research. The U.S. Navy. Now, this is what I didn't understand. The U.S. Navy wants to archive 350 billion social media posts. They're saying for research. So, the United States Navy, in order to conduct research, what exactly does the military want to study? Modes of collective expression? Why the Navy? So, anyways, the Department of the Navy has posted a solicitation asking contractors to bid on a project that would amass a staggering 350 billion social media posts dating from 2014 to the 16. Why only 2 years? The data will be taken from a single social media platform, but the solicitation does not specify which one. We seek to acquire a large-scale global historical archive of social media data providing the full text of all public social media posts across all countries and languages covered by social media platform. The contract synopsis reads, so the Navy said that the archive would be used in ongoing research efforts into the evolution of linguistic communities and emerging modes of collective expression over time and across countries. What the heck for? Why would the Navy want to do that? Something like that. Wow. It's not going to be good, tell you that much. This is simply spying, and research will be used for propaganda purposes. Yeah, and it's only for 2 years, so it's something specific they're looking for. Something, is out there, and between those 2014, 2016, that, they may have responses to something the Navy put out there as propaganda, and now they got their answers, which they do on the fly right now, okay? You don't have to go back and research them again. They have it all. Real time. So very peculiar. I'm surprised they even come out and admit to, period. This. I got something from, oh, yeah. What is this? I don't know. There's something playing, and I'm trying to stop it from playing. I didn't click anything. Anyways, this title here is a city steals an elderly man's home for having a cluttered yard, fines him $60,000 in America. In having a cluttered yard. See how after he won already. I don't have to looking at my YouTube live feed, and boy, it is blurry, so something's going on. Blurry before. Trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know. Maybe the software I'm using is having a little lag time. It is not. Now it's all blurry. So I'm going to end. So anyway, Norco, California, Ron Mugar never committed a crime, never harmed anyone, yet he's found himself in the middle of a government-sponsored thievery ring designed to separate citizens from their money. Yeah, from their money, from their houses, from their land, from, and their lives. The Mugger is currently facing an uphill battle against thieving bureaucrats, yeah, in his city who are attempting to rob him through immoral and unconstitutional legislation. Well, we know about that. Pelosi seems to make up all kinds of legislation and laws concerning, our sitting president. Yeah, because the city of Narco, California, assumes the right to tell people what they can and can't have on their own property. Yeah, much like the state of Connecticut here, in my town in Enfield. Yeah, they think they have a right to tell me where I can put my shed. Yeah, they do. They tell you where you can put a lot of things that you build. You can't, you have to get a permit to do anything in your own yard. Don't get me started on that too. State of Connecticut, I hate it. So according to the city, though, Mogar had too much stuff in his yard. The city claimed this stuff was an imminent danger to the community, and so they went after him. In reality, however, no one was in danger, and when the city asked him to clean up his yard, Mogar did just that. But it was too late. Mogar became a victim of what the Institute for Justice refers to as an increasingly common practice in California called health and safety receiverships. Very interesting. Traditionally, receiverships allow a city to take temporary ownership of a property to fix an imminent danger to a community, like a structurally unsound building. The owner then would receive a bill for the work done. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, and then if you don't pay the bill, they go after all your income tax. Yeah, your state anyway. So the bill is attached to the property in the form of a property lien. See, now that too. If the homeowner cannot pay the bill, the receiver can sell the property. Yeah, and there you go. So the organization points out that these receiverships are now being used in a predatory manner to enforce even the most minor code violations. The city of Narco has hired law firms like Dapier, Rosenbuilt, and Litvak LLP, who go after people like Mogar in an attempt to steal their property to rake in millions. So when the city takes temporary ownership of property and then charges the homeowner for work they didn't consent to having done, many times the homeowner is unable to pay for it. At this point, the city takes full ownership of the property and flips the house, making huge profits. How the heck is that constitutional? To have the state, that is, if that's not a state, yeah, well, that's what it is, state-sponsored communism. Yeah, go and just take the property, or just say, eminent domain, right? The eminent domain. Well, at least he gets paid for the eminent domain. With this kind of thing, you don't get paid for nothing. You get a bill for $60,000. Then on top of it, you can't pay it. They take the house and you get billed for the $60,000. So anytime you make any money, of course he's old. It won't be whole lifetime. Anytime you get any kind of income taxes taken out, state will keep them if you get a refund. Wow, this is just crazy for America, man. I mean, it's wrong. It's things like these that, the injustice of just basic normal moral codes, Take a house from this man who's probably lived there most of his life, regardless, it's his home. He's paid for it. He's worked, sweat, for that house. It's supposed to be an investment. Anyways, man, there's just so many of these things, injustices, and it's all sponsored by the state, by your town councils who are, all getting paid money from your taxes, and they get paid very well. You remember what, AOC is getting paid, right, for her first year as a freshman? $175,000. Yeah. In the meantime, she's, turning away Amazon and saying $100,000 or what was it, $150,000 a year is not enough. $60,000, yeah. I have something like that attached to my income, state income tax as well. And they didn't have a right to take that money either. I had, been sued by a customer years ago, and they were awarded, $5,600. And it didn't make any sense, the contract. We had a contract where I had worked 2.5 months for these people, getting money, getting paid, doing my job, and everyone was happy up until the last month. And they started canceling a couple of the jobs that were left and handing them out to somebody else. And they can't do that because we had a contract. And so they went and found that my contract that I gave to them was null and void because I removed a clause in there stating that they have 3 days. There was a 3-day period that they could, change their mind. I took that out. And so the state of Connecticut and these lawyers decided because I took that out, it voided the whole contract. I went and fought, and I says, look, even if you're going to null and void that contract, there is a binding contract because they've been paying me for the past 2.5 months to do this work, and I've been doing the work. That is a contract, and it's in the statutes. And they said, no, that's not what that means, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I lost that one. I didn't have the money to pay him. I was working check by check, like everyone else. $5,600, and most of that was lawyer fees. But in any case, so I had no way to pay them. So they went to the state of Connecticut, and the state of Connecticut, without my permission, and was actually ruled by a judge that they had to have my permission to take it out, the state of Connecticut. And I said no, but they did anyway. And now they're charging me for interest every month. So I'll probably be paying the interest off for the rest of my life. Yeah. That's the stuff that these towns and these states do. To try and take your money, and then on top of it, tax everything you do, say, buy, earn, whatever. They're taxing you on everything. It's no wonder we stay where we are, fighting for our lives, fighting for, to save up money just to go on, a week's vacation somewhere. A whole year to save up for 1 week's vacation. Big deal. I know some people don't have vacations, and I haven't had a vacation in a long time. I worked for myself for over 20 years, and I never took a vacation. I took a vacation, I didn't get any money. Simple as that. But in any case, there's just so much injustice, I guess we can call that, immoral behavior, just dark out there. I mean, people are just stomping on other people. And if that's what capitalism is going to be, I mean, capitalism should work if everyone is fair about it. But that's not what they do. They take it and they exploit people. They stomp on people. They gang up on people lesser than them. Anybody who has money, that's what I'm saying, who has money who can have the power with that money to stomp on somebody who's just trying to get into a market or something. Yeah, that's how it works. And that's not capitalism. Jesus has a form of capitalism and a form of socialism roll into one that he's talked about. He's talked about in the future, whatever you build, if you build your house, it's your house. It's not going to be anybody else's. If you go out there and you farm and say farm a vineyard or however you do it. I don't grow grapes, so I don't know. They come on vines. That's it. So the work and everything else you put into it and the harvest and all that stuff, that wine is going to be yours. It's not going to be anybody else's. So what he was trying to say there is that if you don't work for what you want and need, which you will be able to, You know, if you want to work 3 months, you know, for 3 months of food, take 2 months off, take 2 months off, have no food. But the thing is that nobody else is going to be able to take it from you. That's basically what he was saying. That it will be yours. That it'll be righteous. Everything will be righteous when he comes back. I can't wait for that. I am so fed up with unrighteousness. What it does to people. It's a terrible thing. So with that, everyone, have a good evening. Take care of each other. And we'll see you Friday. God bless and peace out, everyone.